Chicken little really fell from the sky, and half the truth ain't nothing but a lie. Art and blow coming through with the truth. Keep it 100, that's the only rule. Every week, bring something you ain't know. Hot topics, that's the name of the show. Hit us with a like, follow, share, and that cash app coming to your player. Chicken little really fell from the sky, and half the truth ain't nothing but a lie. It's time to tell the truth. 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 It's time to tell the truth.
Guess who's back? It's your boy Art, my sidekick Blow. Welcome to another edition of Time to Tell the Truth. We got a special guest on tonight. He'll be joining us in a few minutes. It's Dr. Lamar Price. We had him on during the COVID a few years back, but he's going to come in. He's going to chime in on some things. We're going to be talking tonight about a couple of different topics. It's time to take the hot seat. That's the name of the topic tonight. It's time to take the hot seat. You know, we're going to be talking about Fauci, what's going on with that. We're going to be talking about a little bit of open borders they got going on in Spain and what could happen to us. We definitely getting ready to do this thing and do it big. We thank everybody for joining in tonight. Hey, y'all know how to do this thing.
You already know it's time to tell the truth. Give us a call, 704-449-6563. Highlight at everyone, at your followers. You know how it go. You can watch us on Time to Tell the Truth podcast, all one word, on YouTube. Time to Tell the Truth podcast, all one word. If you try to comment from like Facebook or any other platform, we won't be able to see it. So make sure you come in through YouTube so we can get to it. So you already know tonight's episode is It's Time to Take the Hot Seat. Go ahead, Art.
Absolutely. Dr. Fauci been in the hot seat all week long. I'm telling you. And it's been something troubling information. You know, I just hated that everybody had to go in there and put that stuff in their body at the behest of this man who should be personally, in my favor, locked up. I'm telling you, because everybody ran down there. They stopped all the monoclonal antibodies that could have helped, like ivermectin, like hydrochloroquine. You remember the black lady that came on? She was saying she cured all of these people without putting that shot. They disgraced her. They said she was a kook, all this crazy stuff. Man, and I'm going to tell you, that was a big problem because the lady was doing right. You know, I see you ain't no days off. You say Fauci did right. Okay, we're going to go with that.
Well, my thing is, I'm going to tell you why I think Fauci was wrong. I think when you just go off of the information that they gave to the public, the information that they gave us from the jump was that you had some people that was extremely high risk to passing away if they contracted COVID. They said it was the elderly. They said it was high blood pressure, obesity, and a couple more things, asthma, stuff of that sort. So once people started getting it and people started dying and they were showing the numbers, me and Art were coming up and I was keeping the calculation of the numbers. And from what I was seeing was 98% of the people that was contracted COVID at the time were surviving. So that means that we got 2 out of every 100 dying, and we know who those people that was more likely to die were. So my question was, why do you got a virus that has a 98% survival rate, but then you turn around?
We wasn't really overran to the degree that they just got overran, but we're going to show you a little bit about what's happening. Yeah, because, you know, we have to protect ourselves.
I love it. So, okay, let me show you something very disturbing. You in the audience. This is today in Spain. They have decided not to have a border. President Trump is like, why are you guys not having a border? This is absolutely crazy. Let me show you in the audience this.
Video here, chaos at the border of Spain's North African enclave in Morocco. This is a city called Ceuta. You're watching as thousands of migrants break through the fence and completely overwhelm the border police. Their video showing huge groups of people, mostly young military-age guys, cramming into inflatable tubes or arriving on shore in other ways, some of them wading in the water as they break through the gates to get to the other side. Sandra, this is reminiscent of kind of what we saw during the open border during the Biden administration through 2021, 2024, kind of similar to what we saw in Del Rio back in 2021. The socialist agenda, their platform literally says they want to abolish borders, abolish immigration enforcement, have complete freedom of movement. This is what it looks like in another country if they get what they want. Notice there is no resistance from the government whatsoever. These people are coming in without any obstruction. And if people don't know, Spain has a very left-wing government. Earlier this year, they did a big amnesty program for over 1 million illegal immigrants living in the country. They had 1.3 million illegal immigrants apply for that amnesty program between April and June. So that's what we call a pull factor, Sandra. They're looking for something like that. They know if they can just get their foot in the country, maybe someday that left-wing government will do another amnesty program. And you were just reading some of the wires. The locals want an emergency declaration. It sounds like
the ministry's saying no.
Is this what we have to expect if Democrats get back in power? I mean, that's crazy. That many like men, military-age men, just flooding the border. And when I saw that, I almost had like PTSD from covering this for 4 years under Biden, where literally we had months of 200,000 people showing up and flooding the country, getting better benefits than our veterans and our seniors. And now this morning, Spain, they're overwhelmed. Every single.
Go ahead, Art.
It was 80,000 people came into that country in a matter of hours. 80,000 people at one time. They got people all in the streets, people everywhere. Expect that coming to you if we get these people back in charge. That's what we are saying. Man, these people are off the rails. They're off the chain. And we definitely better be paying attention to what's going on in another country. How do you think we knew about what was going on with the COVID shot? We were listening to other countries. We was listening to the other people bring other news. We can't listen to our big propaganda thing that we got going on within the United States.
Yeah, they're not getting better benefits. Lies need a fact check on here. What you mean by they not getting better benefits? Yes, they are getting better benefits. They get benefits that me and you can't get. Don't you know that you got Hispanics that come over here and make just as much money as you make and get stuff that you ain't eligible for? Did you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't got to fact check that. We already know that's true facts. You know that's true facts too. You already know that. If somebody can come over here and get 100%, get 100% of Social Security, and you got American citizens that can't even get that, then you know what we fact checking. See, a lot of times the information y'all get, y'all believe whatever y'all hear. You know, we say you got a crooked politician in the biggest seat of the United States, and we talking about the doctor that got us through COVID. How did he get us through COVID? Because I'm perfectly fine. He had blood clots in his lungs that he didn't even report to y'all.
Yeah, exactly, from the shot. You want to bring in Dr. Lamar?
Yeah, I'm waiting on him. Yeah, all you got to do is come in, Dr. Price. You good.
This is
brother. Arthur.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Blow. Arthur, it's good to see you all, man. It's been a while.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Man, hey, I'm just finishing up with a patient, and I just grabbed some food, so please excuse me for eating. I'm starving.
We got it. We appreciate it.
I'm here, man. I'm here with you all. Whatever you want to ask me, go ahead.
So let me ask you a question about the natural immunity. So is it safe to say that, you know, Dr. Fauci knew that once you got COVID and you survived COVID, that you were at less risk of dying from it?
Once you got COVID, you're at less risk of dying from it?
No, okay. I get COVID. I go through it and I survive. And then if I ever get it again, I'm less likely to succumb if I didn't the first time.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Let me expound real quick. Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
okay. So I'll explain to you really fast how it works with the immune system. And this is with human beings. And I don't compare humans to any other animal because we're a very unique species. Human beings, we have a very strong immune system. There are animals and other creatures on the planet Earth that do have better immune systems than us, but as far as earthlings and earthen vessel on the planet Earth, all human beings, regardless of your race, creed, or color, we have 42 pints of lymphatic fluid. Our lymphatic system, which is our immune system, it actually represents what it's called, immune. I'm immune. I'm is a prefix to the root word mune, M-U-N-E. If you study languages, I speak 5 different languages. And if you study etymology, you'll understand that the root word "mune" has everything to do with the Latin word "commune." And that comes from the Greek word koinonia, to fellowship, communion, communicate, community. So our immune system is inside, I'm within. We have a system that is systematically designed by the Creator, Most High, if people believe in God or not, it doesn't matter. But if you're an earthen vessel on the planet Earth, all living organisms that are from the earth recognize your immune system, and your immune system recognize living organisms. A virus is bacteria. Bacteria, germ. There are bacteria and germs always around us. They're always existing. You can't get away from them. Our immune system fellowships with all bacteria, all germs. Now, germs and bacteria can take on forms of parasite, ptomaine, E. coli. It could be salmonella. It could come into any kind of form of a virus. Just like we have humans, we have basketball players, musicians, teachers, educators. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody has different characteristics. All humans have different abilities and attributes in life. Well, so do germs and viruses. They all serve a purpose, and they have different personalities. Some can be a parasite. Some can be E. coli, salmonella. It doesn't matter what it's called. Humans need to know one thing. Psychologically, mentally, we need to know as humans that we have dominion over all sickness and disease. Our bodies can fellowship and communicate with the bacteria and germs on a shopping cart, on the gas pump. Everywhere you go, someone's going to sneeze on you. Someone's going to breathe on you. You're going to kiss someone. You're going to have intercourse with someone. Germs and viruses transfer because all mass and matter is made up of molecules. Molecules are forms of energy. Energy is created. It can never be destroyed, but energy transfers. So whether the form of energy that you come in contact with is a germ, bacteria, virus, parasite, it doesn't matter what it is. They just give it a name. One human being can be named Lamar. Another human being can be named Blow. Another human being can be named Arthur. Well, that's the same thing as germs and viruses. You could call it H1N1, H1N2, H1N3. It's all a virus. They just have different characteristics. You can say parasite. It's a lot of different types of parasitism, but they don't kill humans. Can we just establish that? No human, a scientific fact. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to disrespect your platform, and I'm not going to insult your intelligence, nor will I even give you my opinion. What matters is truth. The truth has made us free. We perish for the lack of knowledge. That's why we're dying. We die because of doing unnatural things. Right. According to the laws of nature, if you come in contact with something that's bad, bacteria, germs, it can only thrive in the human bloodstream. The life of the flesh is the blood. Your blood is your life. It can only thrive if you are acidic. If I'm acidic and I come in contact with any virus, AIDS, if I come in contact with shingles, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, hepatitis, A, B, C, or D, if I come in contact with mumps, measles, chickenpox, rubella, it doesn't matter what the virus is called, Zika virus. If I come in contact with a virus, the only way it can thrive is if I'm acidic. If I'm alkaline, no disease can thrive. So I was around hundreds of people during COVID, and everybody was like, Dr. Price, I've been tested positive for COVID. Stay away from 6 feet. And I would say, but viruses, germs, and bacteria doesn't carry a measuring tape. They don't know what 5 feet, 11 inches is, nor do germs and bacteria and viruses know what 6 feet is. Well, why do we stay 6 feet away? That's a number that he picked. Yeah. Fauci picked that number. Yeah. I know why. I know why. It's stupid. But if you get a virus it doesn't mean that you're less or more acceptable of getting it again. How many times in your life have you had the flu? How many times in your life have you had a stomach virus? So you could get a virus 100 times.
Yeah,
It
but see,
doesn't make you, yes.
but see, what my question really is if I get it one time, the next time I get it, I shouldn't get sicker from it, should I?
That's not true. It's
Okay,
not
so
true.
I can't get.
How many times have you had a stomach virus? How many times have you went to a cookout, you went to the homie's house, you ate some mac and cheese, some fried chicken or something, some fish, and you didn't smell the salmonella, ptomaine, food poisoning. You didn't smell it, you didn't taste it, but sometime that night you was vomiting, upchucking, diarrhea, shaking. Man, I got bubble guts, I'm sick. I ate some bad food. How many times did that happen in a lifetime? How many times did it get worse or less? It's always going to be around the same. It all depends on your health constitution. How healthy are you? Are you alkaline? Are you hydrated? Do you have a lot of nutrients and minerals in your blood? But if you're full of soda, if you're full of medication, if you're full of beef, pork, turkey, chicken, wings, legs, and thighs, well, you're going to get sick and you're going to feel like you're dying because your health constitution is very low. It's not your immune system. You never lose your white cells. We got trillions of white cells. They're not going nowhere.
Let me ask you this question, Doc. What about the way that they did this particular virus? It was a gain of function virus. Now, that takes on a whole nother connotation towards the body. They took this virus and they gave it another function. I mean, it was like a man-made virus. It wasn't one of the natural viruses that we have. Now, what about the body and dealing with something of that nature?
Are you referring to COVID?
Right.
There is nothing new under the sun.
I get
Remember, all bacteria, all germs take on different forms. COVID, coronavirus disease, was nothing more than a variation. That's why they use the word variant. It's Italian for different, same but different. Like you are your father's son. You're not your father, but you're a product of him. So you could take SARS virus, you can manipulate it under a microscope. I am a microbiologist. I'm a chemist major. I've worked with thousands of different types of diseases in my career. Under a microscope, down to the nano level, you take your objective lens of like 1600, magnify it 20 times, you can actually see the bacterial germ that you can't see with a naked eye. If it has a certain shape, a certain figure, a certain look, if it's lucent, like transparent, or does it have color, you look at it and you can identify that germ and give it a name. We'll call it MERS, Mid-East Respiratory Syndrome. It's a virus, MERS. We could take MERS and we can cut the head off. We could splice it, take the cell cap off and mix it with another bacteria and we could take the influenza virus. Take the influenza virus because we have the strand in the labs. You take the influenza, which is a flu, manipulate it. We can't create it. Yeah. Only God is a creator of all things that are living.
I get that.
Bacteria and germs are living organisms. We do not have technology or the manpower or the intelligence to create a virus. We take what we already have and manipulate it. And we could change it and take MERS into SARS. We could take SARS, turn it into Corona. So if you ask Anthony Fauci, like they did at White House in February of 2020, they said, well, where did it come from? It's a variant of SARS, which comes from MERS. Well, how did it get loose or how did it happen? Well, a bat bit a rat and the rat drank some water in Wuhan, China, and the Chinese people drank it and spread it. And somebody got on a plane and went to England and came to America and went to Jamaica, and they're all over the place. Now the virus is spread around the world. All lies.
Right.
Dr. Lee in February, around 14th February, because I remember Friday on Valentine's, I was speaking at a group in Atlanta, Georgia. And they just hit it on the news that the virus was out, it was spreading. bigger than ever, and they shut down the colleges in Atlanta, right in February. Well, Dr. Lee from Wuhan, China, who worked with Anthony Fauci, went public and said there's no virus coming out of Wuhan. What Anthony Fauci saying is a lie. I would encourage you scientists in America, revisit this, look at it. There's something behind all of this, but it's not a virus, which was 100% fact. And he was dead on public TV within 2 weeks from that. He died. They showed it all on TV. So what Anthony Fauci is, he's a scientist of infectious diseases. He was like the head of NIAID, NIAID. His wife is the head of the National Institute of Health at the time. They're not together anymore. In 1984, when he rose to fame, he took what was already out there, a virus that was spreading against the homosexual community, and he wanted to say, well, not just homosexuals can get AIDS, anybody can get AIDS. If you come in contact with it, you got to rewind, go back in time in the 80s, and remember, he came out and said HIV, AIDS, it could spread through touch, contact, hug, kiss, and everybody was scared to be around people with AIDS, especially the homosexual community. But Anthony Fauci was notable for bringing that out to the public that, oh, it could spread through anything. Right. And then all of a sudden it died off, because when they create these viruses, when I don't mean the actual virus of creating it, I'm saying the concept, putting it out there, they're creating fear. Fear has torment. They're fear-mongering people, because with a virus, what do? Medically, you give it a vaccine. So they came up with these vaccines, and they've been experimenting on vaccines forever, since the 60s, 70s, and even with polio back in the 50s. So what they're doing to speed it up, wrap it up, give you the short version without getting all technical, Anthony Fauci was hired along with the NIA with a global network of infectious diseases. You got to do the research, study to show yourself approved, rightly divide the words of truth. If you study, you'll see that this whole glamour of collaborated wealthy people, they are also funding the World Health Organization.
Right.
There are 195 countries in the world. 194 of them are under the supreme decision-making body of the World Health Organization. Right. The United Nations is controlled and ruled and governed by the World Health Organization. Now, Bill Gates is the #1 financial advisor. Exactly. Number one, exactly. Hands down. Nobody gives more money than he does, because he has a hidden agenda. So in 2010, when he was moving away from microscope, moving into new type of technology, biotech, because remember, he's a computer scientist. So if you become a biotechnician or go into biotechnology, the study of living organisms, and you mix it with technology, he could take computer science algorithms, because they already had a microchip. He owned the patent on the microchip that's the size of a little rice grain. They made it even smaller than that. They can hold a plethora of data, terabytes worth of data. So with that technology, he put a patent on it in 2010. He went forward and addressed it to the World Health Organization. I want to get this microchip into humans. How can I get this into humans? How would they accept it? Let's create a vaccine. Let's push something that's an infectious disease. That's when he reached out to Anthony Fauci. This is not conspiracy. This is not an opinion or hypothesis. This is 100% facts. It's the truth. It's obsolete. Bill Gates started funding this group that Anthony Fauci is part of. I'll tell you the name of the group.
He froze up.
Yeah, he froze up. He should have come back in, though. I hear thunder and that. I hope it don't throw the signal. But yeah, because my thing, what I'm trying to get to is, I want to know exactly what natural immunity is in all this. Right. I want to know why do we get sick? And yes, you can get sick again. But
you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're coming back.
All right. Yeah. It's called the Global Health Initiative Program. Global Health Initiative Program. Back in 2010, 11, and 12, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, a nonprofit private foundation in the private sector, private funding, private banking. What you do in secret, yeah, that's what they're in the world, but not of it. They're separate. They're in a separate sector. In the private sector, they started funding the World Health Organization to push something around the world because Bill Gates, a mad scientist, believes in not only global warming, he believes in global population control.
Yeah,
Right.
depopulation.
He wanted to depopulate the world because we were moving into 6 billion people at the time. We're past that. We're like 7 point something billion people on the planet. He came up with a way to annihilate a massive amount of people in one season at one time through a virus. In 2014, he went public on TED Talk. You can YouTube it, Google it.
Yeah,
He
we
said,
showed
in
it
the
on the show
distant
before.
future, we are going to bring something out as a infectious disease, and it's going to be a global pandemic. So
Right.
who better can you push this agenda? The person over infectious diseases, Anthony Fauci, because Bill Gates won't know how to explain it, that there's a disease out and it's causing death. You were right. 98.9% of all COVID deaths were for other underlying health issues. 99.9% people who get COVID will survive it because you cannot die from a virus. The whole purpose behind COVID wasn't only just population control, it was to get this vaccine with a microchip inside as many as people as possible, because the more people you have vaccinated, the more clinical studies that you do to collect quantitative data, qualitative data, because you have to have it inside of people so they can go back to the doctor and say, I don't feel good after I got vaccinated. 88 people that I know personally, I begged them not to get vaccinated in 2021, January, when they released it to general public. December was Operation Warp Speed under General Perna, when the government stepped in and said, we're going to vaccinate all first responders, military, yada, yada. January, the seniors, the elders, and then they went down because, see, you can manipulate the minds of the elderly people. Elderly people are already, most are on medication, most people convalescent. So you can manipulate their minds and tell them it's important because, oh, they have a weak immune system. That's a lie. Nobody has a weak immune system. That's impossible. And that's a fact. As a scientist, hemoglobin, yes, hematology will teach you you cannot have a weak immune system. So all of that HIV, autoimmune, it's all lies. Because if everybody had a weak immune system and a disease can kill everybody or anybody, everybody would die because everybody comes in contact. How come I was around hundreds to thousands of people during COVID? I didn't have a sniffle or cough or anything. And before I shut up, just so you all know, I don't know if I said it before to you, and let people know, because they're going to come back with more stupidity. We are not ignorant of the devil's devices. We're smarter than that. We're not dumb. They're going to come back and deceive the elect. They're going to come back and deceive population and mess with people's mind, because pharmakia in Greek means mind control. That's why the drug companies, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Gilead, out of the Bible, Remdesivir, Latin for remedy of virus. You got all of these companies that they cashed in. I put in on the stocks. I put $500 on my TD Ameritrade account, because Donald Trump, who is an insider trader, he trades stocks. He knows what's going on. He's rubbing elbows with the wealthy. That's why he said I can shoot somebody in broad daylight on Park Avenue and get away with it. That means I'm going to do some insider trading on Wall Street, Park Avenue, in the middle of the day, 9 a.m. to 4:30 when the stock market's open. I'm going to tweet all night and tell you what stocks. He tweeted late at night in February of 2020, oh, Pfizer's looking really nice right now. Moderna, mRNA technology. He started talking about quantum computing, QUBT. I told everybody I know, listen to Donald Trump. He's telling y'all what's about to go down. Nobody wanted to listen to him because the system turned the simple-minded against him, because knowledge is power. And if you think he's your enemy, you're not going to listen to him. But if you have an open mind and an open ear to what says the spirit, you're spiritual minded, not carnal, something inside of you will say, let me listen to this crazy dude. What is he saying?
Yeah, if you can keep
QUBT.
it 100. We say it all the time. If you can keep it 100.
I put $500 down on QUBT because Donald Trump said it, and I made 5,000. My 5,000, after he said Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, I started breaking it up and putting a little bit on all of them. Within 2021, I had over $78,000 in my account. 500 to 78,000 within a matter of months, all because Donald Trump is on the line, internet, telling everybody, get this dude out of office. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Get him out of office. He wasn't pushing COVID. His son, Barron, had been vaccinated at a very young age. All facts, y'all. Nothing I'm saying is opinion. Nothing I'm saying is conspiracy. I am a student that educates myself by studying. If I could dissect every organ in the body through anatomy, physiology, I'm definitely going to dissect information. I don't Google it. I don't say, hey, Lexa, who's doing this? No, I'm going to research. I drove my car to Washington from LA all during COVID. I was driving everywhere. Nobody on the streets. I'm going through all of the checkpoints and toll roads. Nobody's there. It was like a ghost town everywhere I went. I walked up into some of these offices that were shut down, and I'm asking hardcore questions. I am a personal doctor to a lot of senators, congressmen, and I'm asking hardcore questions. Did you get vaccinated? No. Are you wearing a mask? Only if I'm on TV. Well, what's really going on behind closed doors? I'm talking to doctors in Brooklyn Hospital. I'm talking to doctors, my colleagues that I work with at Mount Sinai in New York. And I'm saying, are you getting paid to push this? Yes. You know as well as I know, you cannot check any human being for a virus unless you do a blood viral count. What's all of this Q-tip up the nose and snot and boogers? You can't check a virus through snot and boogers. So I said, something's going on. I started researching who came up with these rapid test kits, a German scientist. When I found it, he's right there on CNN, sitting back laughing. They said, you must did really well with producing hundreds of millions of rapid tests. He said, oh yeah, I got paid. My paycheck is fat. They said, so how does it work? He said, it doesn't. It's not calibrated to the virus. We never had the COVID virus. I never received a specimen. Our system and technology did not calibrate any of these rapid test kits to a virus. Then the lady, the anchor person on CNN said, well, then what is it testing? He said, well, we could check and swab for DNA, for genealogy, for parental, like biology, if you're the father. But other than that, we can't check a virus through snot and boogers. I already said that. They got me on video saying it. So I'm still on parole from Facebook jail and YouTube jail. I got locked up in YouTube jail, and they took my accounts away because I'm out here telling everybody, stop believing the hype. Viruses don't kill us, but we die for the lack of knowledge. We die from fear. Fear has torment. You're scared to death. As a person thinks, so are you. If you do the research, nobody did autopsies on all these COVID deaths because a coroner, a medical examiner is never going to write the word COVID because scientifically, biologically, viruses don't kill humans. So you can't write COVID killed you. What you can put, you were diagnosed with COVID, you got put on a ventilator, you took a whole bunch of drugs and medicine, and you died out of fear. You suffocated yourself because you were wearing a mask, breathing in carbon dioxide. It could go on and on. There's a lot of reasons why people died. But it was a spirit in the land. Just like God says in the last days, he'll pour out his spirit on everybody. Well, I believe that there are dark forces of nature that put fear, like a curse. Everybody was scared around the world because the World Health Organization. One thing before I stop, last thing, think about this. Critical thinking, inductive reasoning. How you shut school and churches down, Anthony Fauci, but you didn't shut the airports down.
Right.
Everybody's on the same plane, breathing in the same air with a disease that's supposed to be airborne that you can't see. You cannot die from a virus. That's a fact. You could die from being stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% with what you just said. Me and Blow was on here saying the same identical thing. Now, we didn't know all the technology, technical terms and all of that, but we knew something was up. You know, we knew that if you give us this information and we process it and we go back and we look into it and we know that nobody's really dying from that. Now, if you had 2 or more comorbidities, you know, like high blood pressure and all of this other stuff, you got a better chance of dying, you know, because you had these comorbidities going on with you.
Because I never
a person that was healthy and didn't have a bunch of issues, he stood a very good chance of living. Also, the shot was giving people all kind of blood clots. It was giving people all these other things, heart murmurs and heart attacks, all of these things that was coming out, and nobody believed us.
It's sad. You know what y'all should do? You all should create a product and make some money off of this product. And I'm giving you this idea. So before any of your listeners and on your platform get this, y'all take it and get it copywritten and patent right away. Get a shirt that says, "I told you so."
We've been told them. We've been told them.
Yeah, we did do that.
We've been told them because I came on here myself, and I'm gonna tell you something. I say this all the time. You got so many Americans that are religious, that are Christians, that go to church every Sunday, that pay their tithes, that pray 4, 5, 6, 7 hours in the night, and they ran straight down there and put that stuff in their body. They lost all faith in God himself. Ain't nobody have faith in the Creator. I was on here saying, "What about God?" I was on here, man. We had a whole episode about what about God. I told these people,
I wish you had brought me on, man. I wish you had brought me on.
If I catch COVID and die, I'm all right because I'm going with the maker anyway. So
you know, Blow,
to no man-made drug.
Blow, one of the things I did, I'm not religious. I hate religion. I don't do the church thing. I don't do all that. I'm spiritual minded, and I've actually verbatim recorded the entire Bible in my brain because the human brain can hold 600 trillion terabytes worth of information. So I just start recording the Quran, the Torah. I speak, read, and write Hebrew. I know Arabic. I know the language. So what I did was I start retaining God's word and all of this stuff in my mind. So when I come against oppositions, immediately I can recall, because you got to try everything that exists: information, people, attitudes, technology, according to what did God say. If you say there's a virus that can harm me and I can possibly die from it, but God said he protects us from all dangers seen and unseen. You can't see it. God told us to put our trust in him, not man. Let every man be a lie. Don't believe man's report. Believe God's report. We're already healed. All of you religious people, what happened to all of that? You run around, shout, speak in tongues, pray, then you die. Exactly. And then you shut the church down when God said that you see the days approaching, assemble yourself even more so. Exactly. I beg so many pastors, I beg so many high-profile gospel artists, do not do this vaccine because you are an influencer. If you do it, your church is going to do it. Whatever you do, you're the blind leading the blind. And we watched it, you watched it. I mean, it's unfortunate. You
don't believe in the word you preach.
No, they don't. They're hypocrites. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you, collectively, you all, my brothers, collectively, it's a bigger picture than conspiracy and Anthony Fauci. I really don't blame Anthony Fauci. He's just who he is. He's an atheist. He's a humanist. He don't believe in nothing, really. His science is weird. It's weird science, like the movie. Anthony Fauci got paid.
Yeah.
Every dope man is going to push crack on every corner. They're getting paid.
Yep.
He got paid big money, money that he would never have seen with his career in a lifetime. Mm-hmm. So all money ain't good money. What does it profit to gain the world, lose your soul? A lot of these senators and congressmen on the Republican side are more conservative, so they're more God conscious. That's why more Republicans weren't really pushing it, the agenda. But when you just a free fall, I'm just wilding out, I'm out here just living my best life, and you join the Democrat side, democracy, the definition means government controls people.
Yes.
Republic means people control the government. Martin Luther King was a Republican. Martin Luther King's daddy, mama, all the black folks marching for voters' rights were Republicans, and they were all spiritual minded. They called on God when they got lynched and hoodwinked and all of that, beat with whips and police brutality. They trusted God. The families were together. There was unity. All of even the gangs at that time were looking out for the community. But now We're in a generation of a generational curse. Every 20 years is a generation. 2020 was a reset. 2020 was a reset like 2000. That was 20 years prior. That was a reset. Y2K, new type of technology. Well, 20 years later in 2020, they got this thing called control. You're going to control people. It's called the seed of the serpent. You change their language. You control their thinking. You control their philosophy, belief, and religion. You control all of that. Then you control people's behavior. So they threw this word out there called corona. Well, the Latin word corona is not English. It's not a beer. It's not some that all the essays and the Hispanic people like. It's not just a city in California. Corona means crown in Latin. So if you go back to the word of God, Revelation 13, and you all take a note of that, Revelation 13, if you read it, you're going to be like, this is corona. The beast has 7 heads. Well, there's 7 heads of the nations called the United Nations, and it's the G7. G7 came together. They said, hey, we're going to push this agenda. Donald Trump was there. He came out and blasted him. He was in Davos in Switzerland. He went to the G7 right before COVID. It was 2019. He said, hey, I'm pulling out of the UN. Hey, I'm pulling America away from the World Health. What are you doing, Donald? Are you crazy? What do you mean you're trying to get us out the World Health Organization? Because he sat there at the G7 and heard what they was about to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And all presidents and kings and prime minister who pushed against it, 5 that we know of during Corona in 2020, they got murdered. The Haiti president, they killed him and his wife. And they were like, we're not vaccinating. We're not bringing it here. They was killing it. They was dropping off. And then if you was against it and resist, then they're going to get rid of you. And that's why they set Donald Trump up. That's why they came up with all this stuff to get rid of him, because Biden was going to push the agenda. And so when Biden came in 2020 and he rushed right into 2021, he said publicly, if you're not vaccinated, you're the problem. Biden said, if you have 100 employees, you must be vaccinated. How stupid. So I'll just fire one of my employees and COVID won't mess with us because I only got 99 employees.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah,
And so it was a bigger picture because it wasn't just population control. You got all of the wealth builders investing in the stocks. Which were the highest, most profitable stocks? Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, anything medical related. There's a company called McKesson. I invested $1,200 in McKesson. I don't even remember how many shares I bought because their stock was like $68 a stock. I took $1,200 because I heard Donald Trump say, McKesson, isn't that the company that's making all the needles for the vaccine? He was just throwing stuff out there, just dumb stuff that was over people's head. I looked up McKesson. Yep, they got the contract for all the needles for the vaccine because as a medical doctor, when I inoculate, I'm going to take a virus like shingles, HIV. I could take the vial, the serum, the vial in a little tube. I stick the needle in a tube. I draw it into the needle. I stick the needle in your arm. I draw blood. Then I go back. The COVID vaccines, all 5 of them were one direction. Just poke it in the arm anywhere. Just jab you. Never draw blood to mix your blood in with the serum or the vial because it was a microchip with a patent that alters permanently. Listen to what I'm saying, Blow and Author. The patent that Bill Gates has, that means it's guaranteed to do its job. It wasn't a pending patent. It was a legitimate patent. You can look it up. I'll send it to you all phone. The patent courts have it. Microsoft owns the microchip that's part of the letter M. You can Google what is the active ingredients to the COVID vaccine? mRNA. Where's the word corona? Because corona means crown. How come the active ingredients to the COVID vaccine is not corona? The active ingredients to mumps, measles, rubella, the MMR, is mumps, measles, rubella. What's the active ingredients to herpes vaccine? The herpes virus. They put the virus inside of you to trick or manipulate your white cells to see it so they can say, oh, you become immune to it. No, you're not becoming immune to it. our immune system already adapts to everything around us. It's just we're not thinking godly. We're thinking carnal science, because what did they do for 400 years of slavery? 400 years of slavery? Not one nigga got a vaccine?
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Price, let me ask you this. Do you think with that tip, now with what's all going on in this world right now, I done seen people that started doing some crazy stuff. I mean, black people that start killing. I mean, they do. Do you think that they can mind control you through that tip?
Absolutely, because
we just had a show about that a couple weeks ago. I'm sitting there telling everybody, look, man, they can control you. Did you? Yeah. I don't know. We from Charlotte. The guy that killed that girl on the train. Okay, he specifically said that. Look at here. Somebody told me to do that. He was talking to somebody. He said, "Look, I got the white girl." 2 weeks before that, they had already stopped him, the police, and he was saying that somebody was talking to him. Somebody was saying something, and we proved all of this stuff on the show. It's been about three or 4 weeks ago. We was talking about the mind control. That tip or what they put in you, trust me, is causing a lot of this chaos right now today. I personally believe that. Bro.
Arthur, you said that the man said somebody was telling him or talking to him, right?
Right.
Somebody was giving him messages in his head, right?
Right.
I want you to say this. Say mRNA.
mRNA
stands for messenger ribonucleic acid.
Ribonucleic acid.
Yeah. Now say the human blood. DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Okay,
DNA.
Okay.
You got it? DNA is the life source of all human beings. Your life is your blood is your life. Facts. You understand that?
Right.
In order for the human brain to function or work, 3 functionings of the brain. I dissected the brain 3 times. I did 6 years of neuroscience. The human brain, number 1, is focus attention. That's the functioning. Number 2, working memory, moment to moment. If you lose it, they call it dementia. If you lose your focus attention, they call it AD, attention deficit. The 3rd final functioning of the human brain is long-term memory. If you lose it, that's called Alzheimer's. Are you following me?
Right.
What controls your fingers? The brain. What controls you to stand up, sit down, walk, talk, urinate, breathe, heartbeat? The brain controls everything, right?
Right.
So if the human brain controls everything, what is the human brain made up of? I want you to say this. Say the human brain is 80% water.
Is 80% water. That's true.
Hydrogen, oxygen. Now, the brain functions on nutrients and minerals, nutrition. The root word to nutrition, neutral. Neutral has to come from nature. It's natural, nature. You eat from nature, you become neutral. If you eat from labs and chemicals and synthetic stuff, you are unnatural. You are unneutral. You're not normal. So if I smoke crack, which is not natural, it's a chemical, I'm going to have a chemical imbalance. Does crack affect my hands and feet, or does it affect my brain? Which one? The brain that controls the rest of the body. So then I'm doing this, and then I'm walking and I'm looking around and I'm scared and I'm making crack sandwiches and stuff. And so if I have pain and I take a medication, a drug, a medicine, the drug takes my pain away. How do you feel pain? If I have pain in my shoulder, did my shoulder make me hurt?
No.
It's the brain that allowed me to feel the pain. So all drugs are called beta blockers, inhibitors, channel blockers. They got all of these type of characteristics. So if I take pain medicine, it goes into my blood, the blood cells carries it to my brain, and it alters my brain. I don't feel the pain. Do you follow that? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
mRNA technology, Bill Gates knew if I could get a vaccine into people's body, I write algorithms on the chip. I computer program it. I program the chip to do something specific. I want you to say this. All medicine.
All medicine.
All drugs.
All drugs.
Anything.
Anything.
Everything.
Everything.
Related to pharmaceutical.
related to pharmaceuticals
is demonic.
is
I
demonic.
believe it.
Because the
I
word
believe that.
pharmakia is Greek. We get the English from Latin. Latin comes from Greek. The Greek word medicine and drugs is pharmakia. The Latin is pharma. The English is pharmaceutical, medicine, drugs. You follow me?
Right.
The Greek word, the definition for pharmakia is mind control. All drugs are controlled substances. What do they control? Not your hands and body. They control your brain. What do you think? You don't think with your hands. You don't think with your body. You think with your brain.
Right.
So if I give you something that can alter the way you think, I can control you. Bill Gates wants population control.
Absolutely.
He is a mad scientist. This is why his wife left him. This man's been cheating on his wife for years, doing all kind of crazy stuff. She stayed with him. The money was good. But why you wait until during COVID to leave this guy? Why did Anthony Fauci's wife leave him? Because these women knew what was going on behind closed doors. Like, yo, I'll ride with you all the way up until this is getting out of control. Millions of people are dying because of your technology, you mad scientists. So what happens is the microchip goes into your body. The ribonucleic acid, which is called an antibody. Anti means against. Body is the physical nature. They want to put something inside of you that's against you. Antibody. You don't want antibodies inside of you. Everybody's like, oh, we got to get antibodies. We got to get. Are you thinking? What is an antibody? God said, study to show yourself approved. Do the right thing. Rightly divide, dissect, break the word apart. Define it, get the definition so you can get to the truth that has made you free. But if you have a lie, you're going to be enslaved. Millions of people in America, we got 340 something million, 7 billion people on the planet Earth. The only country that did not have cases of COVID was North Korea, who's not part of the World Health Organization. But the math don't math because it doesn't make sense that you are attached to China. You're on the same continent. COVID jumped China, jumped over, it came from China, jumped over North Korea and went everywhere else. It doesn't make sense. Kim Jong-un said, we don't play that. We're not going to play it. Some states in America, like Texas, kept everything open. Schools, churches, they never shut down. They didn't have no mandates. And everybody was mad at Texas, talking about they're going to spread it, but they had some of the lowest numbers for COVID tests, positive. So what I'm saying is, in a nutshell, we're in the last days where evil seducing spirits are getting worse as knowledge is increasing. Technology, AI, all of this is happening right in our face. All of these stupid, dumb, God's people are so stupid. God said it. Those are God's words. God said, my people are willfully ignorant. And they're so ignorant that God said in the last days, they will hear truth and receive it not. Right. That's why they're not trying to listen to you, author. Blow. Blow.
Exactly.
They don't care what you say.
You're right.
They don't care.
Because they hypocrites. They'll sit up here and say, because they'll sit up here and say that the government ain't nothing but the Klan and people that's keeping us held back and all this, but then they'll defend the government when it comes to January the 6th. They'll go vote for big government. They do this crazy stuff over and over.
That whole thing is a whole, that's a whole nother topic, January 6th. That was stupid. But listen, it's not just population control. It's not just about the investors making money. It's not just about new technology and everybody capitalizing on it, because every doctor that diagnosed somebody with COVID got paid. Every doctor that wrote COVID as a cause of death got $4,000 to $8,000 checks. Facts. I know doctors personally. I saw their checks. I saw it. All because they're diagnosing people with COVID. It goes through a data bank. It goes through the American Medical Association. It goes through the medical board, medical billing. They see it. They write COVID, payday. Put them on a ventilator, payday. Give them a shot, payday. I'm telling you, God's got a plan. We don't have to be religious. You don't have to believe in gravity. But if you jump up, gravity's like, hey, Negro, get your butt back down on the ground. I don't care how much money you got, get back down. That's a law of nature. Cause effect, action, reaction. The same laws of nature, which was created by God's word, like he created the sun, the universe. He said, I'm going to make a day where I separate the wheat from the tare. a lot of these church people, sanctified people, Christians or whatnot, religious, they're tear. They look saved. They have a form of godliness, but they deny God.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you know they deny it? Because they went and got vaccinated. When God says, don't defile the temple, touch not, taste not, handle not any unclean thing, shun the very appearance of evil. The vaccine, God gave us the vaccine. No, he didn't. We're vaccinated by love. We're vaccinated by fruits and vegetables. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. Vitamin C for your immune system. Vitamin D from the sun for your immune system. Your skin color, being black makes you strong. My people are the strongest nation. That's why we're the best. Football, mass numbers. There are isolated cases. Mass numbers, the majority, basketball, football, gymnastics, swimming, ice skating, well, speed skate, tennis, golf. Why do we dominate physically? Physically, we have stronger bodies. We dominate. Why are blacks the leaders of all health issues? Because we're stupid enough to believe it. There is no blood pressure.
Or to put the stuff in our body that causes it. Because a lot of times they just put it out there for us to jump on it. We create that stuff in our own body. Right. They put that poison in us and we go out and buy that stuff and all
Here's another thing to think about, fellas. My brothers, Anthony Fauci. What are the symptoms of COVID? Cold, cough, flu symptoms, body temperature, elevated, sweat, tired, fatigue. Well, if it's cold, cough, and flu season, when did Anthony Fauci introduce COVID? Was it during the summer or cold and flu season? December through March is cold and flu season. What did he say? January, it's a new virus in town, 2020. When did they shut everything down? Late February, March. Now, what did he say on public TV? We got new symptoms. This was in March. What's the new symptom? Sinuses and allergy, loss of taste and smell. And now everybody running around, oh, my taste buds, my smell. Oh, I got COVID. You're claiming things that you don't have. There's no cure for COVID. There's no cure for the 200 cancers. There's no cure for blood pressure, AIDS, HIV, STDs, lupus, MS. That blacks are the leaders of all of these diseases. Why isn't there a cure for any disease in America? And if anybody say they could cure COVID or cure anything, they're lying, because the disease doesn't exist technically on a cellular level. Just like Santa Claus doesn't exist, but he's every December during Santa Claus season, he's in the malls. They got music song. They're making a lot of money on the concept of Santa Claus. But if all three of us form a nonprofit organization, the Arthur Blow Lamar Foundation for research for Santa Claus level 1500. We're going to go try and solve Santa Claus disease. We get the best bomber coats, technology, sleds, and some Alaskan Huskies go up to the North Pole. We ain't going to see no reindeers, no gingerbread, no Mrs. Santa Claus. It doesn't exist. That's why there's no cure. We got all this technology. We're looking at each other in real time, real seconds. You hear my voice. You see my face. This is like some Star Trek type of technology we're doing right now. So we can't solve blood pressure. We can't solve cancer. You got the smartest, one of the most smartest, wealthiest men, in my opinion. Now I'm going to give you my opinion. I believe he was murdered, but another story, another day. Steve Jobs was worth $44 billion. He owns this technology. He owns this new cell phone world and business, computers and tablets. And then you worth all that money and you get pancreatic cancer and you died right away. You can solve that, but you can create a phone that can talk to you and predict what you're going to say, because these diseases don't exist. We die for the lack of knowledge. If you are sick and you don't feel good, that is legit. That's real. Are you on blood pressure medicine that causes chills, fatigue, body temperature being off, hormone imbalance, swelling of the lips, face, legs, and tongues, and the ankles, and poor blood circulation, blood clots? Look at metformin. All the black folks on metformin. All the black folks taking all of these vitamins and mineral supplements that are man-made. Man-made them. They're synthetic. They're not real. If you want real vitamin A through Z, there's 12 vitamins that exist. I did 6 years of nutrition. I studied and memorized the periodic table. You got 16 minerals, 28 trace minerals, 112 elements that are essential for life. Where are they found? All of them are in an apple. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. You want a strong immune system? You want to be super healthy? Drink some apple juice. Eat an apple. Blend it up. Eat a banana. Eat orange. Drink the orange juice. Carrot juice. Pineapple juice. Grapefruit. Beet juice. Do like your grandmama. Castor oil. Caliver oil. Molasses. Moonshine. Hot toddies. Soot. We had chicken soup. Vegetable soup. Hot liquor from the greens. 7-Up and crackers, Vicks abs, rub it down, stick it in your nose, stick it down your throat. Nobody was dealing with all of these diseases in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and the 80s. And I'm 54 years old, and I know what it was like in the 70s. We never thought about this stuff. We never was worrying about staying 6 feet. Man, I was hugging everybody during COVID. No sickness or disease. If COVID is infectious, if it's so contagious, how come I didn't get it? I never, not one day, wore a mask. I don't believe in.
I got something that I ain't never had before.
Yeah, because you was tired. You was tired. You were tired. You was pushing the candle, burning the candle on both ends. You weren't getting enough sleep. You probably drank a soda. You probably had some Gatorade. Probably went and got some fried chicken, white potato, French fries, hash brown, baked potato. You are what you eat. Metabolism is the process of turning food into energy. If you eat acidic food, you're gonna have an acidic reaction. And when you don't feel good, you're never gonna think it was the food. Adam and Eve didn't. Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And what happened to them? Mental health. Them niggas thought they was naked. What else happened? Spiritual disconnection from God. They were scared. Now they got the spirit of fear. They went and hid themselves. All behind food. They ate the wrong thing. You are what you eat. So if you eat acidic food, you're gonna have an acidic reaction. You're not gonna feel good. You can have dry mouth, thirsty, tired, fatigue, vomiting, sneezing, coughing. When you cough, there are 6 channels of elimination for acid to come out the body because acid is the only source to all diseases. You're acidic. So if you're alkaline, you can't get sick. If you're acidic, you can get sick. Even if you're a little bit acidic, smoke a tiny little bit of crack cocaine, like $2 hit, you're going to be high. Some people could drink 2 or 3 shots of tequila and they be all over the place, tipsy, drunk, because everybody's health constitution is at a different level. No 2 people are the same. God is not a respecter of person. Nobody has the same fingerprint. Nobody has the same blood DNA. But they'll take your blood, run it through an RNA panel. That's what I used to do as a medical doctor. And then come back with a doctor's report and say you're low, average, out of range, you're in the red, you're in the yellow, blah, 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 blah. Then in your mind, because you believe the report of the doctor, I really am a slave. I really do got blood pressure. I really am a diabetic. Yes, boss. Yes, master.
Yeah,
no.
But you're just putting bad stuff in your body.
You're putting bad stuff in your body. And then the mouth is the third exit. Your urine is the second. Your colon, when you have bowel movements, that's your first exit or channel of elimination. Your nose is the 5th. Your nose is the 4th. Your eyes is the 5th. Your skin is the largest exit for acid. If you're constipated and not having enough bowel movements, you're drinking all of this dairy. Dairy is highly acidic. Milk, cheese, butter, ice cream, yogurt, cream in the coffee, whipped cream, cream cheese, Fetty Wap, 2 Chainz, all of that. All of that stuff. You put that stuff in your body, it makes congestion. You get blood gets real thick and congested. When your blood gets that way, it's called poor blood circulation. All that mucus gets hard. Like the mucus in your nose, snot turns into a booger. The booger is hard. It's plaque. Plaque in the nose is a booger. Plaque in the blood is cholesterol. Plaque in the bones and joints is arthritis. Plaque in the brain is Alzheimer's. Plaque on your teeth, you need to brush them. Plaque in the eye, cataracts. They've got names for everything. They don't want you to hear common cold and cough. They turned common cold and cough into corona. When did people die from cough and cold and flu? Never. So if all of the symptoms to corona were the exact symptoms to cold, cough, and flu, man, miss me with all that. Get out of here, Fauci. Fauci, you little leprechaun looking dude, you got paid to get in front of the world, and people believed the lie. They believed it. I didn't. So you know what I did in April? I asked God, I said, God, these niggas is not listening. These are your people. You told us as messengers, you told Blow, you told Author, you told us as messengers, speak loud, warn the people. They're attacking us. They're not listening. What do I do? God says, well, you from the streets, you an ex-Crip. What did you do on the streets? Did you talk? No. What did you do? Oh, I showed them. I'll show you better than I could tell you. I had to take that street mentality, bring it over into this scientific, messed up world we're living in. I went and got a microscope, got my microscope. I took people's blood out of Virginia. A lady put a group together because she believed me. She believes in me, been following me since 2017. In 2021, April, all these people are getting sick. People dropping off, dying. All the athletes, all of these blood clots. My personal client, Betty Wilson, she was one of the Supremes, Diana Ross and the Supremes. I begged her. I said, don't get vaccinated. I'll get you a vaccine card. I could do that. She said, but I got to perform in Vegas this week. I said, give me a couple of days. I'll get it. I called her back. Got your vaccine card. Guess what she did? Oh, I went and got the vaccine. I told you not to do it. Betty Wilson was dead in 3 days after that conversation.
Wow.
Everybody was dying. Cicely Tyson gets vaccinated, goes and do book signings, and then she's dead all of a sudden. Within 2 weeks,
A lot of them
some
was
people
dropping dead.
died, some didn't. Everybody that smokes crack don't get an overdose. Everybody that drinks alcohol don't get drunk. But when sin finishes, it brings forth death. God doesn't want us to die. It's not his will that we should die, but all change our thinking, called repentance. If people can start listening to truth, reason, critical thinking, challenge it, question it, plunder it, then be patient. Worry about nothing. Be anxious for nothing. But anxiety is on an all-time high. So I started showing people that were vaccinated their blood. The lady had 130 something people in this room. The building is called 757 Hub in Virginia, Portsmouth, something like that, near Norfolk. I drove from LA all the way there in my car. I show up, I was late, but she got a room full of people sitting there waiting to hear me talk. I gave them my spew, told them my background, how I left the medical world and became a natural doctor in nutrition, how I'm helping thousands of people get rid of every type of disease there is, because these diseases really don't exist on a cellular level. You just don't feel good. Let's alkaline the body, let's detox, and everybody's feeling better. I don't care about the 500 men with AIDS. I don't care what they told me. I know they all went back to the doctor and they couldn't find AIDS after they got on my program. Did I heal them? No, I'm not a healer. God already healed us. We just don't feel it or see it because we're toxic. That's why when you die, coroners and medical examiners do toxicology, study of toxins. Well, what are they looking for toxic in your body? Acid. Did the acid burn through your heart and cause an aneurysm? Did it burn through the vessels in the veins in your brain? Did it burn through the vessels and veins in your body? Did it burn through your stomach, the acid from all the drugs and meds, on top of all of the junk we're eating? You're mixing all of this strange stuff together. You're creating an explosion. People don't know why they're sick. They go to doctors for advice. They're going to manipulate your mind and lie to you because they're making money. So then all of these people, I said, who in the room is vaccinated? There's about 30, 40 people, hands went up. Some people were, they just didn't want to say it. It wasn't a trick question. I said, I'm giving you the opportunity to see your blood under a microscope. And they were like, but why? So you can see the microchip and some weird living things. That's the ribonucleic acid, which is the antibody, the living organism that they probably got from outer space, because no biologist that I've known, that I've talked to, we all don't know what we're looking at. I went to school, studied biology, and some of my colleagues and classmates, I called them up. One of them worked for CDC. I said, hey, I'm in LA. Can I come see you? It's an emergency. He said, yeah, sure. It was March of 2020. Went down there, drove, met with them at CDC. He's like, man, I'm going to see if I could get you some clearance to get this far. But in that basement, the labs where I work, we can't get down there. I said, well, hey, we could talk in the parking lot. You know this COVID stuff going on? He was like, yeah, I'm only allowed to say limited information. What do you want to know? I said, off the record, what's this bacteria that I'm looking at in people's under the blood? I mean, in the blood under the microscope of vaccinated people. And he said, you did that? I said, man, I took somebody in LA that was vaccinated with the Pfizer. I took their blood, put it under a microscope. I saw the microchip right away. But because it's graphite, it's graphene. because it's a superconductor. Graphene is like a magnetism. That's why people were having like forks and spoons stick to them. And the girl who I tested her blood, who had just got the vaccine, I got it on video, and all the people in the room, I said, hey, grab me a fork. They gave me a metal fork. We put it up to her arm, and it stayed there. We didn't make this up. That girl didn't even know me. She just met me. I was trying to prove my point. Everybody in the room took turns looking in the microscope, and they were like, what's this little worm that looks like an octopus? The tentacles were breaking off and moving around. In the microscope, everybody's watching it. I took that, went to CDC to talk to my homeboy. He's like, man, I'm aware of it, but I don't know. That's all I can say is I don't know. That's all you have to say, because it lets me know. See, brothers, we talking code. Basically, what you're telling me is it's some new species or organism that nobody know what the heck it is, but we're going to put it in as many as people we can to see what happens.
Oh, we're going to turn into zombies.
That's why everybody wilding out right now. And guess what? Hey, Arthur, is not drugs a controlled system, a substance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, where do we retain God, the creator, faith? Where do we retain being a nice person? Where is that at? In our stomach, our chest, our arm, or our brain?
Our brain, of course.
So if we get inundated with all of these substances and chemicals and have a chemical reaction hormonally of the pineal gland, pituitary gland, our functioning of a homeostasis, the hypothalamus with our sex drive, our body temperature, regulation of body temperature is your hypothalamus, your thirst, appetite, cravings, your sleep, wake clock, circadian rhythm, all of that is brain of the hypothalamus, pituitary. Well, if we put drugs and all of this new technology into us and it penetrates it, man, you ain't got no God conscience. When I tell you Anthony Fauci is an atheist, when I tell you Bill Gates is a mad freaking perverted scientist who exalts himself against God, he thinks he's smarter than God. He is bent on changing the dynamics of blood. He's doing it with the kale, the spinach. He's buying up land and farm and putting all kind of technology in it. Man, we're in some evil days. That's why I got this farm that I'm working on. I want you brothers to come down to my farm in Augusta, Georgia. I'm building a wellness center. I got my nonprofit. I'm getting money from all different directions, bruh. Man, hey, what I'm doing, all the produce grow, everything in the grocery store is growing on my farm. So y'all can come down here and come get some fresh fruits and vegetables, because Charlotte's only 2 hours away from Augusta. Drive on down, ride my horses, come feed my chickens, play with the goats, get in the lake and fish. Man, relax. Hey, got some questions for me?
Shoot. Like I was saying, I think the whole left atheist anyway by this time. Because at the end of the day, everything they trying to put on Trump, they doing it themselves. All this pedophilia stuff and all this dictatorship and all this crazy stuff. I mean, they talking about Trump a dictator, but he try to give a speech to the people and they block him out. I mean, y'all don't know what it didn't. The people on the left, they don't understand that they've been fully tricked out of God. It was spirituality. I ain't even go say God. I'm gonna just say being spiritual.
Yeah, spirituality.
You're going against everything that you want your whole life. You
blow, it's gone, blow. They're gone, man, because lies are the new truth. Lie is the new truth. And God said in the last days,
everything I be saying,
people will believe the lies over the truth. Truth is gone. Truth is gone. So let's turn somebody who can help our nation into a crook, a criminal. He's a fascist. He's a dictator, worse than Hitler. Trump ain't killed nobody. Hitler killed.
Man, look, if you look at Trump bad, you can go look in the mirror. Trump ain't did nothing I don't do. Or probably wouldn't do. Because I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. Shoot, he's just a person, man. Y'all want somebody to get up there and pretend to be perfect. But
Trump has a lot of character flaws. Right. He has a lot of personality issues.
Yes.
But that's not what you hire the president to be. You don't care about the character, it's their policies.
Yep.
Trump never took a salary his first year, his first term, nor this term. Not taking a salary. Trump didn't stay in the White House the first term. He ain't in it this one. He lives in his own place, Mar-a-Lago, protected. He ain't stupid. Trump has given more money to black universities than any other president.
No.
They said Trump is getting rid of Black History. Did y'all hear that? Because I heard it on CNN.
We heard that.
But then he did 3 major events for Black people during Black History Month.
Yeah, at the White House. We talked about that on the show.
We talk about this. See, this is the biggest problem with people now, man. Everybody want to stay in the rearview mirror. Don't nobody want to go forward. See, that's why they got us stuck. That's why the left, only thing they do is get on TV and talk about the past. They want us to believe that we still in Jim Crow. We ain't got rights. We ain't got freedoms. We can't make no money. We ain't thriving. Me and Art ain't riding drop top through the city. They want us to. They want everybody to think that you can't do nothing. They want you to believe that Dr. Lamar Price ain't got a farmland and living good. Everybody can have something, man.
But then when I show the videos and when I show them the pictures of me and my horses and me on my tractor, they niggas got the nerve to say, "Oh, nigga, that's AI." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then you stay where you at.
Yeah,
Blow and Arthur come chill out with me and help me with all of these young men I'm bringing on my farm and put belts on them because my nonprofit, all I did with my nonprofit was call Men's Warehouse, say, hey, I'm a Black man, I'm a philanthropist, a humanitarian, I give back to my community, and I want to help all these young Black men walking around with their pants falling down. Because as a gang member from the Crips, I never sagged. None of my homeboys sagged because we knew what that meant back in the day. Now it's a fad and it's a trend, but I don't like it because it's embarrassing, it's unclean, unkept, and it's just dumb. It's stupid. You walking around holding your pants, pulling them up. Man, get chased by a dog and see how that work out. So Men's Warehouse donated 100 belts, 100 belts because I created a program called Belt. I got whippings when I was young. My dad said, go get my belt. If I said shoot, I got a whipping. If I said dang, I got a whipping. If I rolled my eyes, I got a whooping. If I didn't take the trash out, I got a whooping. If my dad had a bad day at work, I got a whooping. We got whoopings. And it wasn't no children's services snatching you out the house, kids talking back. These kids wilding out, takeovers are the children of the corn. They gonna kill the humans, take over, because adults can't talk to kids now. You can't talk back, but the kids can cuss you out. You can't put hands on them, but they can slap the taste out your mouth. So we're in a crazy, wicked time. And building effective leaders today is BELT, Building Effective Leaders Today, BELT program that I have. And it's a mentor for a lot of young men. And I'll get with you off the record and off this off this program, and have you all come down and just let y'all talk for hours to these guys by the fire pit, chat side, the lake. Get on the boats. We're fishing. We're hiking. We're planting seeds in the ground. Showing them. I'm showing people how seeds germinate and how a kernel of corn can turn into hundreds of kernels, and how to plant a seed in 2 months. You got all these ears of corn and roots, and what's roots and carrots and legumes. I'm teaching agricultural science. I'm also teaching financial literacy. I have some of the best people coming in teaching computer science, technology. I got clients all around the world. Elon Musk, I work with him. He knows me personally. And when I tell you I got connections that God opened these doors, I'm using it back for our community. This is only for people that have an ear, that are like-minded like you, my brothers. So we got to work together. We can reach a lot of people. We ain't going to reach everybody. And one of the things we need to do is not worry about the conspiracies and he say, she say, and who's right, who's wrong. You all don't get stuck or caught up in trying to prove that you're right. Let people do what they do. God has made all humans a free will moral agent. That's the spiritual side. In your mind, you're free to believe whatever you want spiritually. In the natural, according to the U.S. Constitution, your civil liberties, freedom of your action, your belief, your thoughts. If you're a man and you want to ride the back of another man and you want to bump kneecaps with another man and you want to be a rump ranger and a broke back, then that's your liberty. But don't say you love God and you serve God, the creator, the most high, but you out here trying to be a woman when you're a man, or a man when you're confused. That is called mental health.
Exactly.
Mental health is all it is. You're crazy. And you need to be saved. You need to be repentant. You need to be delivered, because if you die, you're going to hell with gasoline draws on.
Yep. So Art, you got anything else, Art, before we get out of here? We don't win no time.
Hey, man, Dr. Price, we're glad to have you on today, man. You sure put us in on a lot of stuff. We definitely going to get down there to that farm.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to have you back on real soon. Blo, it's been a good deal.
Yeah, you already know. It's one thing for sure.
One thing. If anybody says they have the remedy for the COVID vaccine, I could get the vaccine out of you. Snip this, rub this, stand on your head, do a backflip and drink some lemon juice or oregano or soursop or sea moss. The vaccine is permanent. It permanently alters and binds to your blood DNA. The patent wouldn't have never passed the patent courts if Bill Gates could not prove that the vaccine was not permanent. If there was a cure, it's not going to get a patent. I don't care what any superficial, superfied, smart, intelligent person tells you all. There's a cure. Ivermectin, all that. You can drink some noni juice or Garcinia kombucha or black seed, or you can bite the bumps off the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck and you'll get rid of. Ain't nothing getting rid of it. It's permanent.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So what do you think they did for Bronny James? Because I think I think his was probably the most publicized issue, because I believe that his heart attack was the direct effect of getting that stuff put in his body, and now he's okay.
I cannot be 100% accurate because I don't know the case. I don't know his lifestyle. I don't know if he had drugs in his system. I don't know if he was on medications, sports enhancement drugs. Because remember, before COVID, you can go back to the 70s. You can go back to the 80s, the 90s. There was tons of basketball players and football players having heart attacks in their 20s and 30s. Because a lot of these people are taking sports enhancement drugs. A lot of people are smoking weed that's laced. They're not growing it. They're getting it from dispensaries. Food and Drug Administration controls all of that. They're lacing stuff. So chemical reaction, and who's to say he really had a heart attack? You could faint and pass out. That doesn't mean you had a heart attack. Because look at all the people who have strokes and seizures, and that's not a heart attack. Look at all the people who passed out from dehydration. What if he was dehydrated? We don't really know the case. They could say heart attack all day long. I am a cardiologist. I've studied it. I understand the heart. I don't know his symptoms. I don't know what was going on with him. I just heard through the wind that he passed out and they said something about his heart, but I don't have all the specifics. What I can tell you is he's functioning now.
Yeah,
he's still doing his thing. So if there was something wrong with the heart, what did they do? Hit a switch and now the heart works?
Yeah.
It wasn't working.
I was thinking, did LeBron pay for something to kind of reverse it out of him?
If it was vaccine related, that's possible for like a blood clot or something. But just so you know, people die from blood clots. You got to know that. When the blood is clotting, the blood is not moving, and that blood goes backwards, you can die. But a lot of people are diagnosed with blood clots. They don't have them. They just diagnose them with that. You can have poor blood circulation. You can have nerve damage, muscular, neuromuscular, fibromyalgia. Lose, like when your feet fall asleep or something and the numbness tingling, you can't stand on it. Go to the doctor. They say, oh, blood clot. Why would the doctor say blood clot? Because that's an investment interest. They make money on blood thinners.
Mm-hmm.
Billions of dollars on blood thinners. I'm only telling you what I know from the back office of working in the medical field. As allopath medicine, when we practice internal medicine, we give you medicines that can cause side effects so we can make more money off of more symptoms, diagnose you with something else. You came in with a stomach ache, I give you a bunch of meds, run a bunch of colonoscopies and make thousands of dollars billing your medical, which is part of the Indenture Trust Act of 1934, Social Security, Emergency War Act, 32, 33, 34, working with the pharmaceuticals of 1900, Rockefellers, because you become a dollar figure. You become money. You are commodity. Your body's commodity. We make money on prescribing you drugs. All meds have negative side effects. All of them. Baby Tylenol can kill you. So you deal with all these side effects. Who's to say Bronny didn't take pain medicine because he was sore from practice, muscle aches, muscle relaxers, some amoxicillin. Basketball players get amoxicillin all the time for muscles. They hurt. And then the amoxicillin could cause a reaction, passing out because he was drinking Gatorade You didn't know Gatorade's aspartame and saccharin, and it's acidic. Gatorade's highly acidic. That's why it's so addictive. That's why people drink Gatorade. Like, man, I'm so tired, Blow. Blow's like, hey, but I need you as a third man on my team. We about to run 3-on-3. All right, let me drink some Gatorade. Drink the Gatorade. All right, come on, let's go. Because it's liquid crack. All that fake sugar. So I don't know Bronny's situation, bro, but everything ain't everything, and everything you see, everything that glitters ain't gold.
I'm with you.
All money ain't good money. Talk is cheap. We're living in the days of lies. Lies are at 100% now. Back in the 60s, 70s, they were around about 40, 50%. Right now, lies are at 100%. Don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody lying.
You're right.
Everybody lying.
You're right.
Everybody.
The lie is the new truth. For real.
Hey, get a shirt and say the lie is the new truth. That'll make somebody think. That'll stop them in their track.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Hey,
We
we
always-
gotta go
Man, I
ahead and
thank
cut
you,
it off.
brothers, man.
Yeah, we
appreciate
always
you,
say the
Dr.
lies.
We gonna
That's
see
why
you
people.
again.
Yep, people tell lies, man. That's why they tell lies, man. Because lies don't. There's no pain associated. The truth hurt.
Exactly.
While it's on my mind, for all the people who may hear this program, because I don't know how you're going to distribute it out.
Yeah, it'll be
If
on
somebody
YouTube.
hears this, I'm saying now, I'm not apologizing for who I am. I'm not apologizing for what I said. I'm sorry that people are not really woke up. I'm sorry that they're lacking knowledge, and I'm sorry for those who get offended because it's your lack of intelligence on how to reason with truth. I'm telling people embrace God and embrace more spiritual context, not pretext, context. Contextualize information that you're getting. Don't just, oh, I Googled it. Well, the first search engine it comes up with is a lie. Well, it said Corona has killed, people can die from Corona. That's a lie. CDC already put a disclaimer out there saying 98% of all COVID is not really COVID. The deaths, not really deaths. So you all keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing the truth. Don't get into debates with people. Avoid conflict at all costs. You ain't got to argue with nobody. The truth is the truth. Give it to them, present it, walk away. One plant, one water. Let God do the rest, man. People are going to be judged. God says he'll always make a way of escape. God says people are going to be without excuse, and he'll never be without a witness. And you all are true witnesses of truth. Unfortunately, the truth can hurt people. So if anybody hears this message and you're offended by what we're doing or what we're saying, this is not for you. Mm-hmm. It's freedom of speech. We don't, if we were in a democracy, we couldn't do what we're doing right now. If Donald Trump was if we was in a dictatorship or a communist country, and if Donald Trump was a dictator and a communist, we couldn't do what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So all the people who want to say
when the last administration was in, they were taking us down, banning us every time we post.
They took his Twitter account away because he was out there speaking.
They took our whole YouTube down.
Democrats did that.
Hey, I had to go tell them, please, we won't do it again. Just want to give me this channel back.
Well, you know, you were fortunate, Blow, because I didn't even get a chance to say sorry. They shut my whole YouTube channel down. They say you are now in YouTube jail. And I'm like, well, can I get something on my books then, my nigga? Like, dang, like, can I get a letter out? Can I get some?
I had to go tell them, I said, we ain't mean no harm by it. We won't do it again.
I said, well, what did I do? What did I do? They said this content on this day, you posted it, you sent it out, and it was misinformation. You ain't never gonna believe what I put up there. I put Anthony Fauci on my YouTube channel. Anthony Fauci, out of his mouth, I just carbon copied him on CNN saying, wearing a mask does not stop the spread of a disease. I got shut down for that. It wasn't even my words, it was his.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they got the video up of him saying it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Well, shoot, man, we gonna get up out of here, man. We appreciate you, Dr. Price. Should we have one
anytime, man? You know I'm here for you, bro.
We're gonna tell the truth because it's time.
It's time to tell the truth. Hey, we love y'all. We'll be back next week this time.